At just 18, Bella had seen more struggles than most people twice her age. Her life had been one long road of hardship. She hawked plantains under the scorching sun, weaving through traffic and dust just to earn enough for a plate of food. But everything changed the day a luxurious black SUV pulled up beside her at a traffic stop. Inside sat billionaire businessman Mr. Badmus. He was on a rare trip with his driver, distracted by paperwork, when Bella caught his attention. Something about her, the sadness in her eyes, the determination in her stance, pulled at his heart. After hearing her story, how she was an orphan hawking for her strict auntie, he did something no one expected. He offered her a new life. A home. Education. A second chance. That was how Bella found herself living in a mansion with Mr. Badmus, his wife, and their only daughter, Alice, the girl who would become both her classmate and worst nightmare. Alice wasn't thrilled to have a stranger invade her space. Her parents were rarely home, always flying from one bedroom to another. They believed Bella's presence would make Alice less lonely, since both girls were the same age. But Alice didn't see a companion, she saw a threat. Almost every night, Alice would sneak into Bella's room and whisper cruel warnings. "You don't belong here. Don't get comfortable." During school runs, she'd instruct the driver to stop a few streets away and demand that Bella walk the rest of the way. Bella often arrived late to school and got punished for it. At school, Bella was isolated. In class, she sat alone while Alice and her best friend Vivienne treated her like dirt. Sometimes, they'd even steal her lunch, mocking her past as a street hawker. Still, Bella stayed quiet. She had promised herself she would endure everything, for the sake of the opportunity she'd been given. But everything shifted the day Mateo spoke to her. Mateo was the most popular guy in school, tall, charming, and smart. He was also Alice's boyfriend. So, when he approached Bella in the school hallway and struck up a conversation, everyone noticed. For the first time, Bella smiled in public. It was innocent, just small talk about a biology assignment, but to Alice, it was betrayal. "You're not allowed to talk to him," Alice warned, her eyes burning with jealousy. Bella tried to keep her distance, but Mateo didn't. He began sitting near her during breaks, asking for help in class, and walking her to the school gate. Then came the night of Mateo's house party. His family mansion buzzed with music and laughter. Everyone in school was there, including Bella, who had received a personal invitation from Mateo. She arrived quietly, hoping to remain unnoticed. But as she stood by the swimming pool, admiring its calm surface, Mateo appeared beside her. They talked. About the stars, about school, and oddly, about dreams. They laughed, dangling their feet into the water, completely unaware that Vivienne was watching from the window upstairs. Moments later, Alice stormed over, fuming with rage. "What are you doing here with him?" she hissed. Before Bella could respond, Alice shoved her. She fell, crashing into the deep end of the pool. Gasps echoed. Some students ran. Others pulled out their phones and began filming. Bella didn't know how to swim. She thrashed, sinking fast. Mateo didn't hesitate. He dove in, swam to her, and pulled her to the surface. As he laid her on the floor, soaked and unconscious, he pressed her chest, calling her name. Bella coughed and gasped for air. Silence fell over the party. A few people clapped, some recorded, but most just stared. The next day, the school was buzzing. The principal launched an investigation. Vivienne and Mateo were called in as witnesses. Vivienne claimed it had all been an accident. Mateo, despite the truth burning on his lips, agreed. It was a mistake, he told the principal. Alice wasn't punished. That afternoon, she went to meet Mateo in the school courtyard. "Thank you," she whispered. "You saved me." Mateo, disgusted, snapped. "You almost killed her, Alice. You need to stop. This isn't a game." Later that day, Mateo approached Bella. He wanted to explain, to apologize for not telling the truth. But Bella, still shaken, didn't want to hear it. "You lied to protect her," she said quietly. "Don't talk to me again." Mateo looked crushed, but he respected her wishes. In chemistry class, fate played its hand again. The teacher announced a new group project and paired Bella and Mateo together. Alice immediately raised her hand, protesting the pairing, but the teacher dismissed her with a wave. "You'll learn to work together," he said. Jealousy flared in Alice's eyes as she watched the two of them laugh together in the lab. Meanwhile, Bella began to open up again, slowly rebuilding her confidence. Then came two major school events, a scholarship competition for the best mathematics student, and the prom queen contest. Alice and Vivienne, always the reigning queens of the school, decided they wouldn't step on each other's toes. Vivienne would compete for the scholarship, while Alice would aim for prom queen. They assumed no one else had the courage to challenge them. Mateo saw this and grew furious. "This school isn't just about the two of you," he told them. "Everyone else is too scared to try because of how you treat people." That day, he found Bella in the library. "You should apply for both," he told her. Bella laughed nervously. "You know I can't. Those are meant for people like Alice and Vivienne." "No," he said gently. "They are meant for people who deserve them." After much persuasion, Bella filled out the forms. She submitted her name for both the scholarship and prom queen. The news spread fast. Alice and Vivienne were livid. "How dare you? Trying to steal everything from us," Vivienne snapped in the hallway. Mateo stepped in, defending Bella. "She has every right." Fueled by rage, Alice and Vivienne walked away. They had every intention of making Bella pay, but for now, their attention turned to the scholarship and the upcoming prom. Beating her at both would be the ultimate revenge. The tension leading up to prom was thick in the air. While Bella walked quietly in the school library, trying to ignore the stares and whispers, Mateo had other plans. He walked out of the chemistry lab and waited near the parking lot, nervously glancing around until he spotted Alice. He called out to her, and though she hesitated, she walked toward him. There, under the fading afternoon sun, he apologized. "I'm sorry for everything," he said, his voice softer than she'd heard in weeks. "I was just trying to make Bella feel welcome because I saw how you and Vivienne treated her. But I'm not in love with her. I never was." Alice looked stunned. Then, slowly, her eyes welled with tears. "So you still choose me?" Mateo smiled, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "I always did. I just wanted you to see what jealousy was doing to you. But you're here now, and that's all I need." He leaned in and kissed her, not just a brief kiss, but one that held months of emotions. "Will you be my prom date?" he asked. Alice's eyes widened with surprise. She kissed Mateo back, their shadows entwining under the soft glow of the setting sun. Unbeknownst to them, Bella had seen everything. She had come around the parking lot when she heard voices. Curiosity led her to peek, but what she saw froze her in place. The kiss. The smile. The words. "He never loved me." Her heart sank. All the little moments she thought meant something, their laughter in the lab, the shared notes, the way he defended her, all shattered in one blow. Mateo had chosen Alice. She felt misled and fooled. As Bella turned to leave, wiping her eyes quickly, she bumped into Vivienne. With her arms crossed and eyebrows raised, Vivienne smirked. Well, spying on lovers now, Bella." Bella didn't respond. She just walked away with her head bowed and her heart burning. From that moment, she began to ignore Mateo completely. Some days after, the scholarship announcement finally came. Bella's name was on it, she had won. Instead of joy, the news cast a heavy silence over Vivienne. Her smile faded as her eyes scanned the notice, lips pressed tightly together. Alice noticed right away and pulled her aside. They sat quietly under the stairs. Alice placed a hand on her shoulder and leaned in. "I'm sorry she took what was yours," she said worriedly. Vivienne didn't speak, but her silence said enough. Prom night finally arrived after their final examination. Everyone sparkled in their finest. The hall was decked with lights and flowers. Music filled the air, laughter danced across the room. Bella stood alone near the edge of the dance floor. She wore a simple but elegant gown, her eyes scanning the crowd. Alice and Mateo danced together, their smiles bright. Vivienne posed for pictures. As the moment for announcing the prom king and queen approached, excitement filled the air. Alice and Mateo were crowned and the crowd erupted in cheers. The celebration was in full swing when Bella's phone buzzed. It was a message from Mateo. "Can we talk? Meet me by the restroom. We need to clear this up." Bella hesitated. A part of her wanted to delete the message, but another part still needed answers. She needed to speak her truth. So she went, determined to confront him about everything she had seen and heard. Unbeknownst to her, Alice had followed. Driven by a strange pull, she slipped quietly down the hallway, trailing Bella's path. When she pushed the restroom door open, the scene inside knocked the breath from her lungs. Mateo lay on the floor, bleeding. His white shirt soaked in deep red. His body still. Bella was squatting before him, her face pale with shock, her hands trembling as blood stained her dress. Alice screamed. The music died. Students turned and startled. A wave of panic rushed through the hallway. Crowds gathered and gasps rose. Some pulled up their phones and lit up. Is he dead? Oh my God. Bella stared blankly at the body. The chaos blurred around her as someone whispered, "Who did this?" The question hung in the air like smoke. Who killed Mateo?